Hey guys, Nishquick here. Today, I want to talk about something very random. It is video game review scores, Metacritic review scores, OpenCritic review scores, and how that factors into how people feel about certain video game companies. Yeah, that's such a random thing to talk about, right? Well, also, I've been seeing some posts on Twitter and some arguments on YouTube, and I've even talked to some friends about this, and I've heard some very interesting takes and opinions about certain companies, and I guess you can guess which company I'm going to be talking about specifically. That is Nintendo. Yeah, because we talk about them a lot on the channel, don't we? But yeah, if you enjoy Nintendo stuff, if you enjoy Nintendo games, RPGs, Nintendo RPGs, all that stuff, hit the like button and subscribe, because that's what I talk about on the channel. And I hope to see you for future videos right here on Nishquick Pops. Anyways, let's talk about review scores, because some people seem to think things like this. They seem to think that because Nintendo is Nintendo, because Nintendo makes the games that they make, because Nintendo has the franchises that they have, that Nintendo has the experience and the history that they have, that their games review higher, that their games review better, and they get brownie points, they get like a little bit of bonus points because it's a Nintendo game, it's on the Switch. Everyone loves the Switch, everyone loves Nintendo, right? So they get a little bit of brownie points by the critics, from the critics, all that, right? And a lot of non-Nintendo fans are saying this. A lot of people who are upset by other review scores, like when Tears of the Kingdom got all the really good review scores and Jedi Fallen Order didn't, or Redfall didn't, they got salty. Oh, Nintendo, of course it's a Zelda game, it's a Nintendo game, it'll get the scores. And it's happening again with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 16 got like a 88. Pretty good score, honestly, for like a RPG. That's a pretty good score. But some people seem to think that because Tears of the Kingdom got like a 95 or 96, it got the Nintendo brownie points, or whatever they want to call it, right? What the heck does that mean? Because to me as a Nintendo fan, to me as someone who plays Nintendo games actively, looks into Nintendo reviews, content, news, all that stuff, Nintendo never gets this, like, brownie point stuff. They don't get any of that. I mean, at least I don't think so. Let's look back at some memories. Let's look back at some of the past things that Nintendo has done. Maybe even let's look at some review scores right now. Because if you feel this way, or if someone feels this way about Tears of the Kingdom or Mario Odyssey getting like high 90 review scores, let's take a look at something. Let's look at the Nintendo Switch games of this generation that have gotten above a 90. Let's take a look. Alright, let's go to Metacritic, metacritic.com. And like many people say, Metacritic is not the end-all be-all for reviews. Metacritic is not the end-all be-all for anything. You shouldn't judge what games you play based off of a Metacritic score. Just know that, because I know that too. All-time high scores, Switch. Let's take a look at this. Number 1, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 97. That's one Nintendo published game. Super Mario Odyssey, 97. Nintendo published game. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, 96. Another Nintendo published game. So we're at 3 now, right? Metroid Prime Remastered, 94. That's also a remastered game. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 93. Yeah, that's good. First party Nintendo game right there. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Expansion Pass Wave 4 Future Redeemed, 92? Whoa, look at that. But also, let's look at this. Let's look at how many reviews this has. 12 critical reviews. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to count Future Redeemed. As much as I love it, as much as I think it deserves that score, I don't think I'm going to count it. Bayonetta 2, 92. That's also a re-release. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 92. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. That's it. That's it. Let's see. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. 7 games, with 2 of them being remasters or re-releases, which were Metroid Prime Remastered and Bayonetta 2. And I'm not including Future Redeemed on this list, because to those people who are saying Nintendo games get the brownie points. Those are your 90 plus games on Metacritic. Those are your 90s. Was Animal Crossing there? Let me go check. Yes, I missed Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing New Horizons, 6. It's a flat 90. So there, you have those games. But let's go to something like the PS4. PS4. Best games of all time. Let's see first-party games. Because, I mean, PS4 has a lot of really big and really good third-party games, but let's just see first-party games. Last of Us Remastered, God of War, Last of Us Part 2, Uncharted 4 Thieves' End, Journey, I think Journey is a first-party game, is it? I don't know. Someone let me know in the comments below. Bloodborne, I'm putting that as a first-party because Japan Studio. We're already at 6. We're only at 92. Shadow of the Colossus, Blue Point Games, 91. That's a lot of 90s. So yeah, 7 games have hit the 90s. But also, my point is, well, that's just one over the Switch. That's not as much as I thought. But my point is, Nintendo games get brownie points. Well, yeah, sure, those are the review scores. Take that for what you will. But also, I want to talk about other things now. I want to talk about reception, I want to talk about reviews, and like what people say in these reviews. Because, let's take games for example. Let's take Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I watched a lot of the reviews for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 back in 2022 when it came out in July. I noticed that a lot of people were saying this game looks bad, it looks ugly, and it's running not as well on the Nintendo Switch, and that was a very big complaint. Yes, sure, that is a complaint, that is a valid criticism, but I've noticed that in so many reviews, because sure, talk about all of that, but also maybe talk about what's good, what's happening. Like the fact that the game itself is running on a Switch console itself is also like in its own way a marvel of an achievement. So why not talk about that instead of what is not there? There's no new hardware, there's no better way to play this game. It is on the Switch, so review it for being a Switch game, not for what it is not or what it cannot be. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 didn't get brownie points in that way. And if you look at all the other like big major Nintendo Switch games, all the Xenoblade games, none of them hit the 90s. Luigi's Mansion didn't hit the 90s. Kirby, very, very beloved, very good Kirby and the Forgotten Land did not hit the 90s. This game that I have on my shelf staring at me right now. Let me bring this out. Yes, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Zelda games get brownie points, don't they? Because everyone loves Zelda, everyone loves the Legend of Zelda series and all the games in it, right? Especially this one that reviewed that reviewed worse than it did on the Wii. That's my whole thing. Like, where did this narrative come from? I don't remember Zelda ever getting a pass. When Breath of the Wild got 10 out of 10s left, right, all over the place, I was actually a little surprised. I'm not joking when I say this. I was a little surprised that people were really very much into this new style of Zelda. I didn't think it would be that approachable for people. I thought it would get a lot of criticism from the critics and journalists and everyone. I will never forget how much people bashed and bullied and ridiculed Skyward Sword in 2011. It reviewed well, it reviewed decently, I think it even had like 90s or whatever. It was a bloodbath. People were saying that this is the downfall of the Zelda series. People were saying that Nintendo shouldn't be making games like this in 2011. They were making very bold claims. And now people are coming back and saying, oh, Zelda is always the golden child of video games, always seen as the high point, always gets good reviews. You guys remember Triforce Heroes? Even I didn't like Triforce Heroes. Zelda always reviews well, but it's not always just because it's Zelda, you know? I am one of those people who thinks Nintendo games and Zelda games review well because they're good games. Because they do well. I think a lot of the games that hit the high 80s and don't cross into the 90s are sometimes because of the technical limitations, like lower frame rate, lower resolution. You guys remember Pokemon Sword and Shield? Yeah, that got glowing reviews from a lot of people when I thought that it should not be praised to this high of a standard. Whereas, I was very happy to see people genuinely criticize and actually give negative reviews for Scarlet and Violet. You guys might remember how I feel about Scarlet and Violet. I might make another video on that in the future, but when I saw Scarlet and Violet getting 7s and 6s and all that, I was actually a little satisfied. I was actually satisfied to see that people are not giving Pokemon a pass because Pokemon got the pass. I felt like Sword and Shield got the brownie points. X and Y got the brownie points. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire had too much water. But my point is, a lot of these games sometimes may not get the recognition that it deserves. My whole point in this whole video, this whole ramble, this rant, this off-the-cuff, unscripted, all-over-the-place thing that I'm doing right now is to say that don't judge a game's merit based off of other games or based off of what you feel according to its Metacritic score. Because if that was the case, I would not have played Fire Emblem Engage. Fire Emblem Engage is another game that didn't get the Nintendo brownie points. Because Three Houses reviewed swimmingly with flying colors and all that. I was like, oh, Engage is so good, it looks so good. It actually looks good for a Switch game, like it looks good graphically. But everyone's like, oh no social elements, no. So yeah, Nintendo brownie points. Nintendo boost in the review score. Where was that with Fire Emblem Engage? So my point is, no such thing exists. Some developers are just more consistently better than others, I guess. I'm not only talking about Nintendo, you have From Software. From Software has very good games, and they all review very well. Yeah, Rockstar, all their games review very well. And who else? Let's see. Naughty Dog, games review very well. Santa Monica, all their games review very well. So it's not just a Nintendo thing. And, I mean, not everyone thinks this, but I will say I've seen opinions online which have said this. I have talked to people, and some people feel this way as well. Some people express their opinions better than others, but other people just seem to think that Nintendo games are this way, review this way, play this way, and are seen in this way by everyone. Well, yeah, Nintendo doesn't get a pass, just like any other video game company. Remember the Wii U? Remember how those games were reviewed back then? Remember how those games were perceived back then? And how those games were, like, talked about back then? Yeah, well, I'm just rambling at this point. If you agree with me, or if you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, this is Nishquick signing off. Have a great day. If you enjoy Nintendo RPGs, hit the like button, subscribe down below, and have yourself a great day today, and go play some great games, like, I don't know, Nintendo Switch game. Because, like, there's this one right here. This game is fantastic. You guys should give this a shot. I think you guys would really enjoy it. I'll see you guys in the next one later. Hey guys, this is Nishquick. Thank you so much for watching that video. And if you enjoyed it, check out these two videos on the left, and if you aren't subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button on the way out? I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, and see you later.